social, emotional, physical development. Early childhood development is frequently influenced by the family since young children spend a lot of time with their primary caregivers. Thus, it is believed that the development of children is associated to desirable nurturing, rearing environments. Children in an appropriate child-rearing environment will encourage social development in early childhood. Additionally, sufficient home-rearing environment is related to preschool children's higher assertion, self-control, and cooperations. Research and investment in childhood education and development are beneficial to a country in promoting healthy child development and enhancing prosperity. As an archipelago country, Indonesia, which consists of more than 17,000 islands, has significant disparities in early childhood education between rural and urban areas and by socioeconomic demographic group. However, Indonesia, as a developing country with the fourth largest population of children in the world, has a very few study investigating the relationship between child rearing environment and child development, especially in urban, suburban, and rural settings. Thus, my objectives are for evaluate the association between home rearing environments and child development in Indonesia. And the second objective is to examine the differences of child rearing environment and child development in urban, suburban, and rural area of Indonesia. My hypothesis are child rearing environment is associated with early child development in Indonesia, and there are differences in child rearing environment and child development across urban, suburban, and rural area of Indonesia. This is the definitions. Child rearing environment is the degree of organization of the children's surrounding in relation to the human and physical resources, particularly their parents, and quality of close relationship in their environments. For the early child development, it is a maturational and interactive process involving an ordered progressions of motor, cognitive, language, social, emotional, and regulatory skills and capacities across the first few years of life. My study is a cross-sectional study with purposive sampling method by recruiting children at the kindergarten. The data collection period is starting from June 2023 to May 2024, and the sampling criteria as follows. The inclusion criteria is primary caregiver at least 19 years old of preschool children with children aged 3 to 5 years old, and the exclusion criteria is child with disabilities and child with pathologies affecting child development such as cancer, autism, ADHD, and etc. These are the location for my study. For the urban area, I use Pasar Minggu district in South Jakarta and Sawah Besar district in Central Jakarta. For suburban area, I use Depok City, West Java, and rural area, Goa Regency, and South Sulawesi Island. All participating kindergartens were accredited by the government adhere to national standards. The total respondents in my study is excluded by the disease, and the missing data is 819 respondents. These are the variables in my study. I use child rearing environment as my independent variable, early child development as dependent variable, and this age, gender, living places, family structure, parents' educational level, working status, economic status, also birth weight as the confounding factors. For the measurement for child rearing environment, I use the ICCE, which is a parent-reported questionnaires that consists of 4 subdomains covered in 13 items of questions. The subdomains are human stimulation, social stimulation, avoidance of restrictions, and social support. Each item is evaluated by using multiple choice style, and the value assignment were derived from a manual. The cumulative score of the home rearing environment ranging from 0 to 13 was determined by summing each individual component. A higher score implies a better home rearing environment. The Indonesian ICCE has Cronbach alpha 0.778, and the ICCE's internal consistency was found reliable and acceptable. Phase and content validity of Indonesian ICCE has been conducted with community nurse, public health workers, experienced national researchers, and mothers read through the questionnaires and check whether the items in the questionnaires adequately measure the concept of they are supposed to. The result is the questions effectively capture the topic of child rearing environment in Indonesia. I used 25 percentile measured from the negative region with as a cutoff point, and the main reason for utilizing this 25th percentile as threshold is based on the frequency distribution of each item adjusted with social culture in Indonesia. For the early child development variables, I use ECDI, which composed of 10 items of questions covering 4 domains of early childhood developments, such as language or cognitive, physical, social, emotional, and approaches to learning. It was developed by the UNICEF and has been used in developing countries to reflect the SDGs goals, including in Indonesia. This is a statistical analysis. In my study, I use descriptive statistic, logistic regression analysis, and multinomial logistic regressions. This study was approved by the Ethics Committee of UPN Fiji in Indonesia and also the Ethics Committee of the University of Tsukuba. Descriptive statistic and chi-square analysis for the participants, you can see on the table here. And these are the descriptive statistic of child rearing environment, covering 13 items of child rearing environment. This is the early child development conditions in Indonesia. The developmental domain, there are literacy, numeracy, physical, learning, social, emotional, and also I assess the overall development of the children. This is the intercorrelations of variables in my study. And this is the association between child rearing environment and early child development. You can see that there are greater odds or 2.89 times odds to have a typical development if the child eat meals together with the parents and discuss with the partner. And for the physical development, there are 4.31 times greater odds if they play with the child, and 2.69 greater odds if the parents use no hit or scold the children for the social development, and 3.71 greater odds of having typical social emotional development if the parents avoid physical punishments, as well as 2.02 times greater odds of social emotional development if the parents visit friends or relatives at the same age. For the discussion, the findings of this study is in line with the previous study, mentioning that the home literacy and home numeracy environments are very important for early reading and math acquisitions. Moreover, parental involvement in the development of literacy abilities projecting reading fluency by examining the impact of letter knowledge and phonological awareness. Additionally, the home learning environment's literacy and numeracy components were identified as specific predictors for children's proficiency and numeracy in literacy. Parents teach their children through informal social interaction known as guided participations. This everyday activity might also including child eat meals together with the parents. Through sustained conversation with adults in everyday activities, children learn mathematical concepts in real-life contexts. And to support the findings in social emotional development, it is known that children with higher observed fear and higher delay ability demonstrated lower externalizing problems. Parental use of physical punishment in the first 2 years may be a risk factor for emotional and behavioral difficulties in preschool children. The originality of my studies are the study sampled caregiver from urban, suburban, as well as the rural area of Indonesia. Thus, the scope of study is relatively large, and this is the first study analyzing home learning environment of Indonesian children using ICCE, an internationally developed questionnaire. We provided further multinomial analysis to explore the difference between the urban, suburban, and rural area. The limitations are it is a cross-sectional study, thus it is examining the relationship and cannot examine the causality effect of child rearing environments, and some self-report questionnaire bias may present. The implication of my study, based on our findings, it is known that the interaction between parents and child are very important. It is recommended for the parents to spend the time with the children in daily activities such as having meals together and play with the child, and these activities will make a significant impact on the child development. Moreover, parents should completely eliminate all forms of physical discipline within the households, and from a public health perspective, analyzing the difference between rural, suburban, and urban area will contribute to the implementation of further policies related to child rearing environment adjusted to socio-demographic conditions. For my future plan, I will conduct multinomial analysis to differentiate the association in urban, suburban, and rural area of Indonesia, and also examine in-depth analysis on each subdomain of ICCE and ECDI. These are my references. Thank you. So the presentation time is 10 minutes, Sensei, and it's exactly 10 minutes if I counted from the first I start the presentations. Of course, Atik-san. This one? Okay. Yes, thank you so much. I will correct them. Must be something happened. Thank you.
Yuri-san, thank you very much for your presentation. I don't have a question, but I was just wondering about your limitation. You have already put it there. For the self-report questionnaire bias may present, then if there is self-report questionnaire bias, then there might you might get a question like how did you like mitigate, or how did you overcome with your bias. So do you think we should put this sentence in our limitation?
Okay. So actually, I discussed also about this with Lee Sang, and he said it's okay to put the self-report question or bias in here in the limitation, but I have to prepare for the answer.
Yes, that's what my concern. So
Yes,
if you
thank
are
you so much.
exactly during my defense, also Lisan also gave me the same advice. Like I have to prepare if I want to put this particular limitation there.
Mm,
And
okay.
what explanation I really want to know. So it will be helpful for us in the future. What have you prepared for this
So
question?
yes, in my case, I have enumerator like assistant, research assistant to fill the questionnaires. So previously, before they answer they fill the questionnaire, I will give the guidance for them, for the participants, how to fill the report questionnaires. And also, while they are filling the questionnaire, there will be an assistant uh, accompanying them while they're filling the questionnaire in case they are confused or there might be some problems. So if there's anything happens, they can easily uh, guide the participants. Also, I included my phone number in case if they want to get in touch with me, and phone number, and also email if they want to get in touch with me if there is something they confused to. So those are 3 points that I prepare to answer these limitations. What do you think?
Yeah, actually it makes sense. And also I was wondering, sometimes people, specifically our country, socially, they just wanted to be corrected people, right? They cannot be open to fill the questionnaire. So for that aspect also, we have to think about, like, for the biasness. Maybe, yeah, they might have a question or something. Your assistant can help them. And also for this aspect, like socio cultural aspect also, please, just my advice. Small
Okay, okay, I will prepare. Thank you so much.
I think that is social desirability bias, right?
Social
Like,
design.
yes, how we want to represent. For example, maybe someone has something they just don't want to share.
Yes, yes.
Sorry, I
Yes,
have
yes.
just a small question. Have you included parental age as covariate?
Parental age.
Like
Oh, yes, yes. I haven't.
age, gender you added, but is it like children's or parental?
This is the parent, but the parent age here, because it's if the children's age is only 3, 4, 5 years old.
Okay, okay. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I will make it clear here.
That would be better if you just like put it in two headings from children's side and parental side, for example, like that. So maybe it would be easy to understand.
Okay, thank you.
You put birth weight from children's side, right? Only birth
Yes,
weight, and others all are parental.
yes.
Okay. In that case, like children's birth weight or birth weight. I
Okay,
understand.
well,
No problem.
Yuri-san, one more thing. This is your final presentation, right, for your midterm? So
yes.
your methodology, can you go to your methodology slide after the definition? Yes, that one. Here I can see child with disabilities, and somewhere I can see children. So it will be better if you make it children everywhere,
Okay.
right?
Okay, okay.
Yeah, just as. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yuri-san, I have just another small question. I'm sorry if I missed it. About your second skill about child development. Is it already validated in your country?
Yes,
Developed
yes.
by UNICEF?
Yes, it's already validated in my country. Maybe I should put the like uh explanation here, like the validated that maybe they use the Chromebook Alpha, so I will also put the number here.
I think that would be better because I didn't,
Yes.
when I was skimmed through, I didn't get it. It is already validated or not.
Okay, okay. That's a good point. Thank you so much.
Good morning, Yuli-san. Can you
Yes.
hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Could you please turn to page 16?
16, this one?
I'm sorry. The result part, table 1.
This one.
Yes, yes. I found that the 3 years old children and the children from rural areas, the number of 3 years old children and rural children from rural areas are significantly smaller than the other two types. I wondering how will this affect your outcomes?
Yes, actually, thank you for the questions. So yes, actually, it will affecting my outcome because as you can see here, the 3 years old is lower because I use the sampling of the kindergarten, and mainly in Indonesia, some parents enroll their children at 3, but most of them like prefer to enroll their children at 4. In my case, I enroll my child at 3 years old, but some parents they did it and starting from 4 years old. So it really depends on the parents itself. And in Indonesia, people living in rural area, because my study is from Goa village. I'm sorry. I will show the maps of the. This is the rural area of Indonesia, and you can see in the Goa Regency in South Sulawesi is very remote, so it's mountainous, and based on the data is approximately only 300 people per kilometer square living in the area. So therefore, that's why the number of children is limited for the rural area here in the results. And even in low, it will affect the early child development conditions. Yes, I think so, because as you can see here, especially for the learning development, the risk group is only 3% having a risk for the learning development, and it might be affected by the limited number of the children, especially in the 3 years old, maybe. Thank you so much for your concern. Maybe I will discuss it more in my discussions about why the reason of these results based on the distribution of sampling.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And also, could you please explain more about the learning in the child development here?
Okay.
Learning, yeah.
Thank you. So I will show you the questions here. So this is the questionnaire of ECGI used by UNICEF, developed by UNICEF, used in Indonesian scale, national scale questionnaire. And this one is the learning questions. There are only 2 questions. So does the child follow simple directions on how to do something correctly? And when given something to do, is child able to do independently? So logically, when I have a low 3 years old and many 4 to 5 years old, 4 to 5 years old children will able to do this, like the questions number 6 and question number 7. So it might affecting the results of my study. That is the discussion. I will discuss it in my discussion part.
Okay. Thank you very much for your
Thank
answer.
you for pointing that out. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yuri-san, I'm sorry
Yes.
to bother you again, but I noticed in your Pearson correlation or Spearman correlation, there is one categorical gender correlation.
Okay.
Child sex. So
Gender of sex. Okay. I will change it.
I think that would be better because it doesn't make sense when we put categorical inside correlation, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hi, Yuri-san.
Okay.
Thank you for a wonderful presentation. I have a question about your questionnaire. Did you collect the data online or use the paper questionnaire?
I used the online questionnaire.
Online questionnaire.
Yes.
Okay, okay. So can you show me your the questionnaires reliability and validity?
Okay. In Indonesian ICCE, this one.
Okay, this one. Oh, 0.778. Oh, it's very good. So
Yeah.
you collect it online.
Yes, I collected online. Some of them, I use the G form, the Google form, but some of them I attend the data collections with my assistant, with my research assistant together. So I gathered the mothers, the parents of the childrens, and then I still use the G form in order to make it easier for me and to reduce the how to say the mistyping. So I use the G form, and it's guided by me and also the research assistant.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, Yuri, it's interesting. And still, this is the evaluation for PhD. So you should prepare first. What's the difference between the child's age? So please prepare the age input your control variables, children's age.
Okay, sensei.
Then you can show the difference between the children's age. That's the first point. And second point is the representativeness. How you explain the outcomes representatives for the reviewers.
Okay, sensei.
You can explain now?
Yes, the representativeness, I use three area of study, like in urban, suburban, and rural area of Indonesia. And for the urban area, because Jakarta is very diverse, so I use two region of Jakarta, Central Jakarta and also South Jakarta. And based on my study, I also use kindergarten that already accredited by the national the local government, so it is adhered to the national standard of Indonesia. That's why even though I only collects data from some kindergartens in that area, it also representative the Indonesian conditions of early child.
We know Indonesia is so diverse. Your
Yes.
representativeness is only Jakarta.
No, Jakarta and Depok City, a suburban area, and Goa Village in different island of Indonesia. And the Goa Village is a mountainous area which have I will show the. I already prepared the slides.
Yeah, it's better to prepare the evidence of your representativeness, not only saying blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
Yeah, photo is very helpful, but the evidence number is important.
Yes, and I will.
Yeah, for
put
example, the population and the economic status, such kinds of things.
Yes. Oh, not this slide. Yes, I already searched for the economic status of the rural area in this Goa Regency. So most of the parents are farmers, and based on Indonesian data, the recent Indonesian data in 2023, 29% of Indonesian populations is working as the farmers. So it might represent Indonesian conditions for the rural area, this Goa Regency. And on the other hand, this Goa agency for the minimum salary, so it is also very diverse for the minimum salary here, because it is like the minimum salary I use below 3 million, 3.5 billions, and more than 4.5 billions. I search for the minimum salary in every area. For Jakarta, the minimum wage standard minimum wage is 5.4 billions of rupiah. So most of the parents is living below the economic conditions in Jakarta. But for Depok City as the suburban area, the minimum standard salary is 4.5 millions of rupiah. So they are mainly living in the Depok standard salary, which is suburban area, even though they are living in the urban area. And for the rural area, the minimum salary is only 3 millions. But as we can see in my study, there are many participants living under the even the standard minimum salary in rural area. So that's also might affecting the results of the study, Sensei.
Then you should know the difference between the places.
Yes, Sensei.
And have the data.
Okay, I
What
know.
is the difference exist actually? Yeah, reviewers might be ask you. As a PhD student, you should prepare all the data they asked me. Okay?
Okay, Sensei. Thank you so much.
はい。じゃあ頑張ってください。
ありがとうございます。
Okay. I'm sorry, I was okay. Let me share my screen. Okay. Mm. Okay. Good morning, everyone. So today I would like to present for my midterm presentation. I'm Hilda from Anme Sensei's laboratory. So my research, the title is The Influence of Caregivers' Mental Health and Children's Social Skills in the Urban Area of Indonesia. So the background, Indonesian Ministry of Education defines there are several aspects of child development, and one of them is the social emotional. As we know, the preschool stage is acknowledged as a pivotal period in the child's development path that significantly influencing their social maturity. And nowadays, based on previous study, there are several social skills problem among Indonesian children. Like they prefer to be alone, or they have difficulty to control their emotion and don't want to share, or difficult to cooperate with others. The social skills development of children from previous study also found that influenced by various factors, and one like demographic factors, or family environment, parenting style, and also the parents' mental health. The previous study mentioned that parents who experience depression and stress, they have difficulty to show their affection or emotion, and that's has impact on children's development or behavior problems. The parental anxiety also found generally associated with the child's upbringing style in hyper protective manner. And prior to this study, we did a study in SJ Ward. So it found the prevalence of mental health condition of caregivers who experience mild stress disorder and mild anxiety at 7% and 10% respectively. And the previous study in Indonesia were discussed the determining factors to children's social skills. However, limited one focus on caregivers' mental health. Therefore, the study in this field was needed. So the objective of this study to explore the influence of caregivers' mental health to the preschooler social skills. As the hypothesis, the caregivers with mental health problem give negative influence to the preschoolers' social skills. The method study design. So it's basically 1 year follow-up study. We gathered data from all private kindergartens in the urban area in Indonesia in B city. So the sampling we used was total sampling. The data collection, we collected the data in 2023 for baseline. And the follow-up we did this year for the children's social skills. Here's the inclusion and exclusion criteria. For the inclusion criteria, we for the preschoolers for 4 to 6 years old going to kindergartens in SK ward, and the caregivers filled out the questionnaires about the demographics data and evaluate their mental health. And the parents consented to join the study, and the parents also give consent for their children to be evaluated by the teachers. And also we recruited teachers to evaluate the children's social skill. For the exclusion criteria, we excluded children with special needs and like the parents who don't want to join the study. And here's the participants in the baseline year. At first, we recruited 383 participants, and we had some missing data because it's paper based. And also, we exclude children with special needs. Finally, we have 343 participants. For the operational definition for caregivers' mental health, we in the current study we define mental health as depression, anxiety, and stress behavior among parents or caregivers that can be a risk factor for child maltreatment. Sorry. And for children's social skills are learned behaviors based on social rules and enable children to interact appropriately with others in the society. And also we put parenting style because as one of the what is it covariate parenting style refers to the how of parenting, that is how parents interact, discipline, communicate, and respond to the behavior of a child while socializing the child into their group. And the instrument that we used, we have four. The first the main one is the demographic data. And for the caregivers mental health, we use the valid Indonesian version of DAS-21 or depression, anxiety, stress scale with 21 items. And yeah, it's a questionnaire set of 3 self-report scales designed to measure negative emotional states of depression, anxiety, and stress. And for social skill, yeah, we use SSS with 24 items from our lab, the Indonesian version that has been validated and reliable with 0.9 Cronbach alpha. And the parenting style, we also use the Indonesian version parenting style questionnaire that used in the previous study that consists of 15 items. So the research concept at the independent is caregivers mental health that we collected during the baseline, and and the dependent variable is children's social skills. We collected in the follow-up, and here are the covariates. Sorry, my confounding. And the statistical analysis, the 3 main things: descriptive analysis, bivariate correlation, and linear regression for the future plan. The ethical approval, yeah, this study has been approved by both from Indonesia and also from Tsukuba University. Here are the results. For the descriptive characteristics, we have caregiver's age, and mostly mothers filled out the questionnaires. We have caregivers education, job, and household income. And for the children, we have children's age, children's gender, number, and children number, and the school accreditation. Here's the descriptive statistics of caregiver parenting style. The category, we have uninvolved, permissive, authoritarian, and authoritative, and the majority is still the authoritarian for among Indonesian caregivers. Descriptive statistics of caregivers' mental health. Yeah, we have depression, anxiety, stress here. The majority are in the normal state, but we still can see there are some in this moderate, severe, or even extremely severe state. Here's this of children's social skills. We have the subscale and the total for the total score here. And here's the correlation results. Hit the with the red one that I put the highlight. And here the discussion. The baseline data found the level of depression, anxiety, and stress of the caregivers mostly in the normal state. Yeah, however, some caregivers also experience moderate to extremely severe mental health problems. Sorry, the social skills subcategory with the highest score was assertion, which was followed by cooperation and self-control. Since assertion just entails expressing one's thoughts or feelings, so it usually develops earlier than other skills, whereas other skills call for more sophisticated social awareness and consideration of others' needs. And according to the study, the majority of parents still practice authoritarian parenting techniques, which are typically brought on by parents who uphold the ideals of traditional parenting, which call for parents to have complete control over their kids. And the current analysis, anxiety and stress was found negatively associated with the several aspects of social skills. This study supports earlier studies indicating that caregivers with mental health issues are struggling to display affection or emotion, which affects children's behavior as they emulate their parents. Ministry of Mental Health and Addiction defines that mood disorders influence the feelings, thoughts, and behavior. It can produce pessimism and loss of interest in hobbies or doing daily activities, as well as playing with children. And however, for the current until this date, the depression was not found significant, which might be caused by one-time point data collecting. So it needs at least 2 weeks for the symptoms must be present prior to the diagnosis. So therefore, the further study with follow-up is needed. Originality. So the study used total sampling approach of one area. And it's a first study with social skills scale used among Indonesian preschoolers and evaluate the relations with caregivers' mental health. And the data was analyzed by numeric scale or for SSS and categorical data based on I'm sorry, based on the for several questions that affects the results. And the study took place in one urban area, which might limit it to represent the all areas of Indonesia. The future plan, I'll continue to further literature review and develop the discussion, and I will add follow-up data for children's social skills that has been collected in this year. So that's all. Thank you. In particular. Is chairperson. Actually, I'm sorry, Autika, for the midterm, I didn't show because the it was what do you say? Uh, it was the data for only for the baseline. So for this midterm, I just used and I just showed the data until the B variant only until table. Only until table 5, not yeah, only until correlation, not the because linear regression, because I will use that for the future one for the data with I'm sorry, with my follow-up data later. Yes. Yes. I think I didn't put table 6. I have deleted. Maybe that's the old one. Yeah, that's the old one with the for the cross-sectional for my cross-sectional paper. I mean, yeah, I'm writing for I mean with that but because I got sensei's comment for my pre- poster presentation at that time, and sensei uh commented that was not suitable uh for the cross sectional. So I deleted that one, and I was just I'm planning for using it for my follow-up data. For now, I think I didn't put that. I have deleted that one. Maybe you saw the old one. But in the Dropbox, I think I put the newest one. With the
Hello, Hilda-san.
yes, Marika.
Sorry, is it finished with the
Yes.
Okay. I was just like wondering for the there are two things I want to know. One thing you talked about in your title, mental health problem of the parents and the relation with the children, right? So if you say mental health problem, it's not only depression, anxiety, or stress, right? There could be other mental health problem also, like mood swings, bipolar. So have you think about these kind of mental health problem as like excluded or something? Since mental health problem is not only these three, there could be other problems also, right?
Yeah, but actually, like mood swing or what do you say? We have that one in the question for, like, I mean, in the question we is too small.
Mhm.
It's also like one of the symptom, like so it's not a diagnosed like mood swing. It's not, it's just the symptom, right?
Yes.
The symptom of the mental health
Yes.
problem. So I'm sorry,
Not only symptom. I mean, mood swings could be one kind of problem, one mental health problem.
oh
So bipolar could be one kind of problem. Panic disorder could be a separate problem, kind of.
yeah, because there are a lot of kind of
Yes.
mental
Yes.
health problems. I mean,
Yes.
diagnosis of mental health
Yes.
problems.
Yes.
But in this yeah, sorry, in the current study, I justified the, let me show you the my operational definition.
Mhm.
So here also, I in the current study I justified it in the only in the three categorical: depression, anxiety, and stress, because several studies among child development, they mostly mention about depression, like postpartum depression or
Mm.
something like that. So if maybe for the severe more mental health problems, because they have to be what do you say, they have to be uh like to be get treatment, not in the common society. I'm sorry. So I think it's quite difficult to be evaluated only by themselves. I mean, I have to get
Right.
the diagnosis from the professional for those kind of
Yes.
more.
Yes. So my idea is like, what if you could just say, like these three is included in this study, and there are other mental health problem which is excluded. Since you
Okay.
don't know, right?
Okay.
I don't know. It's just my idea. I don't know, but I don't know how you handle the data. I don't know,
Yes.
so
Okay.
Anyway, you need the logical reason why you excluded other ones. Reviewers should
yes.
know all logical reasons. Okay, Hilda.
Okay. Okay.
Just previous journal says no, that is not the evidence.
Okay.
So
However, I
make the
mentioned I.
logic.
Mm,
That is PhD. Go ahead.
yeah, I know. but because some I mean more more mental health problems with more symptoms, it needs more evaluation by the professional like the
Yes.
psychiatrist or something. And in this field, because I need to be like self evaluation. Okay, but I will prepare for I'll prepare for more
Okay.
possible.
Thank you. Thank you for your
Thank you.
answer.
That's great. That's great point.
And also one more thing, I don't know if I'm correct or not correct, or I don't know. It's just my query about your hypothesis. Like, is it possible to make it more positive? Like it says it problem give negative influence, blah blah blah. So can we make it like caregivers with the good mental health gives a positive
In
influence
the
to
opposite way.
the
Okay.
yes, yes. I don't know. I mean, how does it suit in your research plan or not? But my idea of making a hypothesis should be positive,
Okay.
kind of.
Okay, sure. For the follow up, sure, I can see. I mean, I can change it in the positive outcome. Thank you.
Thank you so
Sure.
much.
Okay. Thank you.
Yoda-san, thank you for your wonderful presentation. I
Hi.
have one, it's not the question, a suggestion, I don't know, what, table 3.
Table 3 is
Yes, if you set the normal, I feel like others are abnormal. Like maybe you should change the name of the normal
okay.
to like no depression or no anxiety. I maybe like more suitable words than normal.
Okay. It's okay. I will think, but actually, it's based on the standardized one. I mean,
Oh, okay.
it's in the international standardized one for DAS. So it's called
Okay.
normal.
Then that's I think fine.
But
Just for me, like
okay.
just
Yeah,
yes.
I know.
It's
I
it's
got your
like
point.
normal. Yeah.
But I just wondering if is it possible to. I think it's okay for changing the name only in our own study, but because I will
Okay.
try to consult with
Yeah.
with
Okay.
the
I got your
this
point.
other.
Okay. So
Is
if we
this
used to like that.
Categorized already normal or mild? Are they?
Yes,
Because
Sensei. It's
as an English, Maiko-san, true. Normal is funny.
Mm.
I think that's 21. It's international standardized. Uh, like but maybe Afsari, can you because
Yes,
Afsari
yes.
use
I was about to say that yes, it is categorized like this way. Some study uses continuous and some study use these categories because like this has been categorized as some scores within normal range. This scale usually what to say not diagnose, actually identify about our recent emotional state, if we feel sad or if we feel depressed within last few weeks. So if the scores we put like some 0, some 1 and 2, and after adding those scores there is a range which
we
falls
sum
in
up.
non-normal range. And after this normal range there are for example after 10, maybe 10 to 13, it will be mild group, and it has been grouped, and a lot of studies are using this grouping, and also some studies used as binary, as normal in one group and mild, moderate, severe, extremely severe another group. It's up to the like researcher, I think, because
Okay.
we can cite other studies which used as continuous or
The
as
naming.
categorical. And I'm sorry, I want to add just one more thing, as Smarika asked. that mental health is a broad term. It can include a lot of items. For example, eating disorder is also a mental health problem, and also like schizophrenia and also clinical. But you can say that, yes, there are a lot of mental health problems. I acknowledge that. But depression, anxiety, stress is most common. And you can cite some references, and also in your study population and your research interest is depression, anxiety, and stress. And you can say that it is, as there are skills to identify or measure, but for other mental health problems, yeah, you are right, we need to diagnose it. So as I'm doing a questionnaire survey, it was not feasible to include other mental health problem without diagnosis or anything. Maybe you can just organize the answers and
Yes, maybe like
clearly you
I
can
will
answer
try to
it.
make it more logic and more organized. Thank you, Absari.
Good luck.
Yep. Yeah, because I saw Absari's results too. She made it in the other categorical ways.
Yes, categorical.
So I think yeah, it's okay to naming it in other, like based on my own way. Normal. Okay. Let me think. Hello, Hilda-san. Hilda, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh,
But
okay. I
what
wanted
is
to
Hilda?
ask, have
Yes,
you
Hilda.
Hilda gone.
Yes.
Okay, next then.
Yes, yes. Let me share my screen. So can you see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Today, I'm going to practice my midterm presentation, and the improved points are based on the following changes. First, utilize a longitudinal analysis model for repeated measures to reanalyze the results. And second, enhance the presentation of result figures for improved clarity. And third, revise the discussion and conclusion sections based on the updated results. My research topic is parity and health-related quality of life, a longitudinal study among multi-ethnic women in Southwest China. My name is Huang Jia, and my supervisor is MCC. It is well known that pregnancy and childbirth are significant stages in women's lives, involve numerous changes that greatly impact their physical, psychological, and social well-being. Women's reproductive factors, including parity, can reveal potential health risks and the cumulative effects of childbearing. Parity is associated with various postpartum conditions, chronic diseases, and so on, affecting women's health and daily lives long after birth. However, most studies focused on specific diseases, overlooking broader outcomes like health-related quality of life. HRQL is a comprehensive measure of health status, and various factors are linked to HRQL. However, the association between parity and HRQL remains underexplored, with inconsistent findings reported in previous studies, and few studies have investigated this relationship among multi-ethnic women, and longitudinal research is limited. These gaps emphasize the need for further exploration on parity and HRQL. The objectives of the study are to explore the associations of parity with HRQL in multi-ethnic women, and to
examine the effects of parity on specific dimensions of HRQL, as well as identifying regional and ethnic differences in the parity HRQL associations. We hypothesize that first, lower parity is associated with higher HRQL in multi-ethnic women. The effect size of the parity HRQL association varies across different dimensions. And second, the association between parity and HRQL differs between urban and rural women, as well as between Han and ethnic minority women. And these are the definitions of the study variables. And this study was a 2-year longitudinal study conducted in 5 provinces of Southwest China with 7 ethnic groups. Data were from the China multi-ethnic cohort, including baseline survey and 1 repeated survey. And we included women aged 30 to 79 years old in our study. And finally, there were 6,692 women eligible for analysis. And parity information was collected at the baseline survey and categorized into 3 groups. They are parity of 1, parity of 2, and parity of 3, and more. HRQL was measured both at baseline and in the repeated survey using the EQ5D5L scale, which includes the descriptive system and the visual analog scale. This study adopted 2 types of HRQL as outcome variable. They are index value and VAS score. And referring to previous literature, we selected the following covariants as potential confounders. And linear mixed model were used to assess the association between parity and HRQL. Estimated marginal means of HRQL across different parity groups were also calculated. Stratified analysis was performed to identify urban, rural, and Han minorities differences. And our model included HRQL as a dependent variable measured at baseline and repeated surveys. Fixed effects included parity and time-invariant covariance. Random effects included random intercept accounting for individual differences in baseline HRQL. And this study was approved by the Medical Ethics Committee of the University of Tsukuba in Japan and the Medical Ethics Committee of Sichuan University in China. Let's move to results part. Table 1 shows the characteristics of the study population at baseline by parity groups. Table 2 shows the results of linear mixed models after adjusting for potential confounding factors. Lower parity was associated with better HRQL index value and VAS score compared to higher parity in multi-ethnic women. And table 3 shows that lower parity was associated with better performance across all dimensions of HRQL compared to higher parity in multi-ethnic women. The strongest association was observed in the mobility dimension. And in order to identify the regional and ethnic differences in the parity HRQL associations, we conducted the interaction effects test. Table 4 shows the result that association between parity and HRQL VAS score differed between urban and rural women, as well as between Han and ethnic minority groups. And table 5 shows that lower parity was associated with higher VAS score in rural women, while this association was not statistically significant in urban women. And lower parity was more strongly associated with higher VAS score in ethnic minority women than in Han women. And figure 2 and figure 3 shows the estimated marginal means of parity-related HRQL by regional and ethnic groups, which further supported the trend that HRQL decreased with increasing parity and showing that parity-related HRQL index value and VAS score were generally higher in urban women compared to rural women and in Han women compared to ethnic minority women. Our study showed that after adjusting for potential confounding factors, the LMM showed that parity remained independently associated with HRQL. These findings indicate that higher parity may be negatively associated with women's HRQL, consistent with previous studies linking higher parity to impaired physical functioning, increased physical limitations, which may contribute to declines in overall HRQL and well-being. And the identified regional and ethnic differences in our study indicated that rural women, as well as ethnic minority women, may show a stronger association between parity and HRQL due to limited healthcare access, higher economic burdens, and greater physical labor. And this is the first study to explore the association between parity and HRQL in a Chinese sample. By conducting a longitudinal design, more valuable results can be gained compared to a cross-sectional design. And this study also has some limitations. First, the potential bias due to unmeasured confounders. And the second one is the findings might not be generalizable to other populations or regions with different social, culture, and healthcare contexts. In conclusion, lower parity was associated with higher HRQL and its dimensions in multi-ethnic women. Rural and ethnic minority women with higher parity may be at increased risk of declining HRQL and should receive focused attention. And targeted healthcare interventions should be implemented to improve HRQL for multi-ethnic women. And in the future, I plan to analyze the interaction effect between parity and time to determine if time moderates this effect, reflecting longitudinal changes, and to explore the mediating effect between parity and HRQL, as well as examine additional reproductive factors such as women's age at first childbirth and menstrual status to explore their associations with women's health outcomes. And these are the references. Thank you very much for your attention.
Hi,
Hi.
hi, this is Yamada. Thank you for your wonderful presentation.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have two questions. First, why did you set the survey target to such a wide age range from 30 to 79 years old?
Why we choose the women aged 30 to 79, right?
Yes.
Yes. And you can ask your second. I can together answer you.
Yes, even in Japan, where life expectancy is among the highest in the world, some people start to experience a decline in physical function at age 79.
Yes.
I think that in some cases, The decline in QL is caused by physiological aging rather than
Yes.
physical damage from childbirth. The older people are, the more likely they are to see an increase in the prevalence of chronic diseases and declines in physical function due to physiological aging, which in turn leads to a decline in HO QOL scores. So please tell me if you have devised any measures to eliminate such confounding factors.
Yes, thank you very much for your questions. The first one, why we included women from 30 to 79? Because first of all, the impact of parity on HRQL is more stable in women aged 30 and above, as most have completed or nearly completed childbearing, reducing the data in stability seen in younger women with unfinished childbearing. And the second one, controlling for age in my covariance helps to isolate the impact of parity on HRQL by excluding the effects of higher HRQL in younger women and the decline in HRQL due to deteriorating health in old women, as you said. And the third one, this age group reflects women's childbearing experiences under different fertility policy environments in China, covering periods of strict one-child policies to relaxed two and more child policies. And their fertility behaviors are shaped by policies, economic conditions, and cultural backgrounds. And also selecting this age group capture the long-term effects of parity on HRQL, providing more complete and representative data for analysis. So in this study, for the study objectives, we include the women aged 30 to 79. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Do you have evidence even the 79 women affected by the parity? That's reasonable.
Yes, Sensei, I will go to find more literatures and to support this result.
Yeah,
Yeah,
literature.
yes.
Even on literature, I don't think you can find. Yamada-san is very points out.
Yes, Sensei. I will prepare this question. Yeah.
Yeah, or cut such older women from your participants.
Yeah.
More reasonable.
Yes. Okay, Sensei, I will try to analyze in this way. Yeah. Thank you, Sensei.
At
Yeah.
least the reproductive health age is reasonable.
Yeah. Thanks, Sensei.
Okay, thank you, Yamada-san.
Thank you, Yamada-san. Thank you. Yes. conclusion. Okay. Mm. Maybe. Yeah. Yes. Thank you very much, Otto-san. I will change them to a more certain sentence. Thank you.
Hi, Huang-san.
Yes, Yuri-san.
Yes, thank you so much for your presentations. I would like to ask in your inclusion criteria. Yes, your study sample is women aged 30 to 70. Yes,
9. Yeah.
79 years. Can you hear me?
Sorry. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
I can hear
okay.
you now.
Yeah, okay. So the inclusion criteria is 30 to 79 years old. And do you think it will affect the age of the respondent will affect the answer of them? Because you also asked about the disease, the presence of disease, and maybe the older one will have more disease compared to the young one. So what do you think?
Yes, Yuri-san. Thank you very much for your question. Like the Yamada-san and MSS said, the older age may be influencing factor of the HRQL and also the diseases. So for the diseases of the older participants, I just include the diseases as a covariance to control this effect of the diseases of the participants to the HRQL. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I see. Thank you. And one more, I'm interested in the unique card. What is the unique card in the inclusion criteria?
Unique.
In the inclusion criteria, you mentioned inability to exclusion to provide a unique identity card. What is the unique identity
This
card?
is to prove if the participants are living here for more than 6 months or this situation. So we include them. If he or she doesn't provide the identity card, so we could exclude them before because we just want the participants who lived for a long time in this area, just like the rural area or the urban rural, area, it was reflected in their identity card in some ways. So we just present that exclusion criteria.
Oh, I see. Okay. And one more questions. As far as I know, China once implemented a one-child policy for a family back then, but now it's already removed. So will it also affecting the study? Like the number of parities is limited by the government. So will it affect your study?
I think it's one influencing factor, but the ethnic minorities is not affected very serious by this strict one-child policy. In the ethnic minority regions, they have some relatively relaxed fertility policy because the government says that there's no limitations for the ethnic minorities to have the number of their children, and this policy were more influenced into the urban women. Yes.
So
Yes,
not in the
not
southeast region of China.
yes, so there are rural and urban women in this southwest region of China, but the ethnic minority and the rural women are not so affected by this policy.
Okay, so it's different for each, not implemented for a whole country, but different based on their minorities or living places.
Yes, they are very different by the ethnic groups. Yeah.
Okay, I see. Thank you.
Thank you.
Huang-san.
Yes.
Good morning. Yes, thank you for your presentation. I have a question about your implications. As we know that in China has fully implemented the two-child policy to encourage having more children since 2015, right?
Yes.
Yes. However, your study found that lower parity was associated with higher HRQOL. So I was wondering, how will you explain your implications?
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Your question is asked by a previous people, and many people asked me about these questions. So my explanation is women's HRQOL is influenced by multiple factors, not just parity. While the number of births can impact women's health, HRQOL is a multidimensional concept affected by physiological, psychological, social, economic, and lifestyle factors. Attributing changes in HRQOL solely to parity would be incomplete. And my research does not advocate for fewer or no births. Instead, it aims to uncover the potential associations between parity and health status. And women's health depends not only on the number of parity they have, but also on how their quality of life is managed post childbirth. And my study highlights the need to consider the long-term health impacts of childbirth on women and raises awareness about managing these effects. And improving HRQOL requires a holistic approach, not merely limiting parity. The significance of my research lies in its examination of the multifaceted and long-term effects of parity on women's health, encompassing physical and psychological. This understanding is very important for incorporating parity into health management and intervention strategies. And by exploring the association between parity and HRQOL, my study offers a new perspective on women's health management, particularly for those with higher parity. It emphasizes the importance of addressing the health needs of women with substantial childbirth histories to enhance their overall well-being. So that's my explanation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You have prepared the answer.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
No, that is not the enough answer. No. So if you want to say such kinds of things, can you hear me?
Yes, Sensei.
Yeah, if you want to say such things, the high parity, for example, more 2 over if
Yeah.
they have some support or some kinds of level of economic wealth, then high QL can keep. Such kinds of outcome is important. So you mentioned that is not so simple, just parity and QL. So find another outcomes, even high parity, the quality of support and quality of economic amount is make them happy.
Oh, yeah.
And the Chinese government more happy, I think. And
Okay,
all
okay.
the people want to have a more baby. You can have you can do that because you have a
Yes.
data.
Yes, yes. I actually I displayed the whole results of the association parity with HRQL with the covariance. They include educational level and occupation, household income, and also the social capital, and so on. So I can find evidence from these covariants, right, Sensei?
Yeah,
Yeah.
please
Yeah, yeah.
find the factors, even high parity, make happy.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you,
a
Sensei.
further analysis you can put such kind of things. Then evaluate and understand the significance of your research and implementations. Okay?
Okay, thank you, Sensei.
はい。じゃあ
はい。
頑張ってください。
はい、thank you.
Yes. Let me share my screen. Yes.
Thank you.
Can you see my screen? Let me turn off my video while during sharing the screen because my network is unstable. So my title is The Effects of Social Interactions on the Physical Function in Japanese Community Dwelling Older Adults, a 9 years longitudinal study. Japan's population has been showing a declining trend in recent years, and it is projected that by 2017, the total population will dip below 90 million, with the aging rate expected to reach 39%. Japan's a notably greater degree of aging in contrast to other nations. The number of individuals certified as needing long-term care has seen an increase over the past 2 decades. In April 2000, there were 2.18 million people certified as requiring care. By the end of March 2021, this number had escalated to 6.82 million, representing an increase of approximately 3.1 times. As the demand for long-term care increases, local governments are primarily leveraging community networks to enhance the level of physical activity among the older population. The maintenance of physical function in older adults contributes to reducing the risk of various health issues such as frailty and decreased mobility, and leads to an improvement in the quality of life. Social interactions such as going out, social activities, and other interactions with others has been shown to increase healthy life expectancy, which allows older adults to live independently and in good health in their daily lives. Engaging in regular social interactions that include intellectual activities and hobbies proved to be beneficial in preserving the functional status of older individuals.
However, in recent years, there has been limited exploration of which aspects of social interaction influence physical function, and few longitudinal studies have demonstrated association over several years. The purpose of this study is identifying the association between multifaceted social interaction and physical function. My hypothesis is that older adults with higher levels of social interactions are more likely to maintain physical function. Social interaction is the relationship between human and the environment, which is measured by presence or absence of human relationships in the local community and the frequency of relationships with the environment. Physical function refers to the ability to perform basic activity independently, such as walking and standing, component within the Kihon checklist, a tool developed by the Ministry of Health in Japan. This checklist is used by local governments to determine the necessity of preventive care. Study design is a 9 years longitudinal study using the secondary data from 2011 and 2020 from a project which was implemented in T Village, Government of Aichi Prefecture, named CEC Cohort Project. This data is based on self-reported questionnaires from the residents. My inclusion criteria is participants who are 65 years and older. Exclusion criteria is those who have impaired physical function in baseline year and lost to follow-up during the follow-up after 9 years. There were 1,085 participants aged over 65 years old surveyed in 2011 and excluded those who have limitations in physical function, missed follow-up, and missing informations. Finally, 304 participants included in this analysis. So independent variable is social interaction, and dependent variable is physical function. Covariate as the following. Social interaction will be evaluated by using the index of social interaction. ISI consists of 18 items, which are clustered into 5 subscales, including independence, social curiosity, interaction, participation in society, and feeling of safety. The items will be scored according to their frequency. For positive answers, the score will be 1, and for negative answers, 0. The total score of social interaction is 18. The higher score means higher levels of social interaction. Physical function is assessed using 5 questions from the Kihon checklist. The question asks if the person can climb stairs without using a handrail, stand up from a chair without support, walk continuously for 15 minutes, if they have fallen in the past year, and if they have a fear of falling. Scoring 1 point is given for yes to the first 3 questions and no to the last 2. A total score below 3 indicates poor motor function in older adults. The chi-square and Mann-Whitney U-test was conducted to compare the differences between ISI score, physical function, and covariates. Finally, logistic regression analysis was conducted to examine the relationships with total score of ISI, 5 subscales of ISI, and physical function. So this is a score consideration. So this is the result, demographic characteristics at baseline. So this is chi-square and Mann-Whitney U-test result for the association between ISI, covariates, and physical function. So this is the logistic regression analysis. So model 1 is adjusted for all covariates, and model 2 is adjusted for significant covariates. Model 3 excluded any covariates. The total ISI score and social curiosity remained significantly associated with physical function even after adjusting for covariates. This suggests that social curiosity may be a key factor in preventing functional decline among various aspects of social interaction. Recent research has shown that intellectual activities, including reading newspapers, are associated with a lower risk of IADL decline and functional decline. A cognitively stimulating environment, which includes intellectual and leisure activities, has been found to contribute to the maintenance of cognitive function and a reduced risk of dementia due to brain stimulation. Since cognitive decline can lead to a decline in physical function, intellectual activities may also help maintain physical function through cognitive stimulation. While the social curiosity subscale was significantly associated with reduced functional decline after 9 years, interaction, independence, participation, and feeling of safety didn't show such significant associations. Previous studies have reported that these aspects of social interaction have a significant impact on various health factors, including cognitive decline and mortality. Therefore, future research should explore these dimensions of social relationships in greater detail. This 9-year longitudinal follow-up study is the multifaceted index of social interaction consisting of 18 items across 5 domains. Given its community-based nature, the findings of this study could potentially be applicable to decrease the need for care and total health expenditure, can be generalized in the other community and rural area. These findings and help in designing further interventions and programs for improving social interactions for reducing the need for care. On limitation, it may not be generalized in other countries as the data of this data is from a community-based area of Japan. The measurement of physical function included subjective assessment, which may have led to a gap between reported and actual conditions, potentially introducing bias. The study aimed to determine whether baseline social relationships were associated with future physical function. Social interactions were not analyzed as time-varying covariates. Future studies are expected to explore changes in social relationships and physical function over time in greater detail. The conclusion is that higher level of social interactions, specifically social curiosity, can benefit to maintain good physical function, suggesting that priority be given to increasing the social interaction of older persons. This is my contributions. Acknowledgement. Thank you for listening.